Hello everyone, this is the recap video of Season 7. It was a very nice and good journey. I think this one was maybe one of the best seasons, if not the best, in terms of content and challenge. So how I start? I start with my personal challenge like every league. I pick a damage type that's at the very bottom. I pick Ether, and I pick class that's also at the very bottom, that's Reaper. Of course, this changed recently, the last patch Ether damage perform a little bit better, but when I start with this class was at the very bottom. How I died? I did a Forgotten Gods questline and I fight a very rare hero that on death spawns on volcano and was a insta one shot. No time for reaction, nothing, I just kill him. Volcano under my feet, instantly deleted. Thankfully I'm a hardcore veteran, so I secure my next character before I died. Our next run was a Ra Rocket Archon. This is one of the new items of the league. There is a footage of this build. I managed to acquire most of my league points with this build. Even being an off-meta build performs really well. I managed to get 20,000 points, which is mainly all the points from the campaign and all the points from the celestial bosses, Nemesis and that kind of stuff. Only boss that I didn't attempt was Moira and Galacross. Unfortunately, I died before I test them. This build dies to Arania because testing and I got greedy. She was at 1% life and I didn't reposition. I decided to stay. Basically I kill her, but she kills me as well. Was like a draw match, but there is no draw at hardcore. Basically I didn't get credit for the kill because I died first. And also all of my characters are named after different phases of my life. I played different games. I was a semi-professional Dota player as a student back in the days. I play a lot of World of Warcraft. I play a lot of Diablo 2. I play some other games like Assassin's Creed, but not that much. This is some interesting information about my names. Next build, I decide to go for something a little bit stronger and at the current meta. This is Traun Warlock. Basically I use Devastation and a Doom Bolt. I managed to put some good times with this one on some tiebreakers. I did couple of seconds below this Enjoyer when I fight Locker. I did a good time on Bourbon Clones as well. Unfortunately this one died at Arania. Was a absolutely rocky mistake. There is a footage of this death on my channel. Basically I didn't saw I am under the debuff of the little spiders. And this is very rocky mistake of my own. I didn't pay attention at all. I just focus on damage and I end up one shot, actually 2 tap, but this is purely my mistake. After that I decide to drop really nice Inixil Claw, so I decide to go for a Sabo. Basically I equip Blaze Heart and Inixil Claw in the other arm, and I farm the Ember Calling set from the Shattered Realm. Damage wise, build was actually very good, but tankiness was a little bit behind. I don't remember how I died. I think I died to Moira, but honestly I don't remember. This was a 2-3 days build. Didn't play much with it. Didn't get some crazy corruptions. I have some, but not the best ones. After that I decided to go even more deep in the meta, and I got Spellbreaker. I craft 2 Moira Blades, and I go for the Mage Slayer set, which is basically bump tons of dot damage and give some other bonuses to Spellbreaker. I managed to cook a very high DPS build, but again I'm not very good executing melee builds. I am much more of a caster type of person. Dot of this build ramp to 800, sometimes 900k, which is extremely high dot potential. Also comes with some sort of burst because this is a weapon pool skill build. Again, died to Moira because I didn't calculate my resistance over cap, and I take way too much damage until I realize I mess it up. I end up dead. It is what it is. So next one was probably one of my best build this season, if not the best. This is absolutely my idea. I don't use any sources. This is my Dervish. The main item is Skull of Lonka. Actually very solid build. I did all of the bosses. I did Boundless Dungeon 12 with double Nemesis. Absolutely comfortable to farm with it. Absolutely cheap. I even optimized the build to be not that piano, because in my video actually is an old footage of the build. I remove my relic attack and I just play as a Amarastra's Blade Burst on a right click, which saves me slot or 2. Very effective build. The only downside, can't participate in the tiebreakers, lack of burst damage. Basically is a dot caster, but dot ramping up to 400k, which is very nice for a general farming. Also build is very durable. I run high regen, good armor values, armor absorption, a lot of dodge, and also I reposition, of course. We run Yugo, so I have good damage reduction on top of everything. And also I pick Ghoul Devotion for this one-shot type of situations when I don't position very well. Extremely end up to be a very well-rounded build, especially as a off-meta. Still alive compared to my rest. After that we decide to go for Death Knight. I really hope it's got buffed and stuff. Death Knight is an emblematic class for this game. This one was okay, but can't farm harder content. I died at Boundless 12, double Nemesis on. He is okay if you farm single Nemesis, but double Nemesis completely impossible. I managed to roll very nice corruptions and stuff. Build is very optimized. But as I said, unfortunately, this is a vanilla build, not very well at the league. Most of the crazy stuff at the league, they are craftables, MIs or faction gear with some crazy prefixes and suffixes. This is a vanilla set, even fully corrupted. It's very mediocre as a damage. Not as a damage, as a survival ability, sorry. After that we have 2 attempts for an Elementalist. I want to copy rank 2 Elementalist to kill Moira. This was my plan for the last week. This one dies at the Forgotten Gods. I rush to a pack of Eldritch Mages and they just one-shot me. They have shotgun attacks and stuff. Was brutal. Of course I wear fully corrupt locker set, so I'm not very tanky. Again, same attempt, just this time I use Primal Strike. I got one shot by Voldrak. Sorry, I forgot the name of the boss. Voldrak, basically I positioned myself very bad and he just performed his slam and was insta one shot. Because probably he carries some crazy weapon like triple rare or double rare or some crazy prefix suffix. So this is my second failed attempt to build an Elementalist, and after that I took a break and I basically decide to revive some builds that I put on pause. And this is my Ritualist, basically a permanent Primal Spirit / Briarthorn / Skeletons. Of course, this is absolutely meme build, perform very well, very unkillable in terms of farming, impossible to do bosses. Unfortunately, League bosses, they have special mechanics against pets in terms to pet builds to be nerfed, because they were quite crazy at the beginning when the seasons pops out. But in general, farming, very good character, still alive after 3 months, which is very impressive. Especially I ripped a lot, like 10 characters maybe. Very nice build. There is a build guide on this one as well on the channel. Absolutely cheap. The weapon is craftable. The only goal that you have to achieve is a 22 flat resistance corruption on the weapon, which is not very hard. Actually, I did it in the 3rd or 4th attempt. All the rest of the gear is a pretty common drop. Nothing crazy. The amulet is the main hero here. It's a new amulet from season 7. That's allowed a lot of cooldown to be dropped of Primal Spirit, and also the helm, it's basically built for this build. But I choose Necro as a support class because much more fun, and it's all about fun. But if you build Conjurer and swap the weapon for Veil Piercer and swap some other pieces because they are Necro exclusive, you can build a very solid Primal Spirit, permanent Primal Spirit and Hounds and that kind of stuff of build. Unfortunately, probably I'm gonna do that next season. I'm not gonna troll again and build this one, but Conjurer is a very boring as a class, in my opinion. After that, we decide to basically, after several posts about Mr. Wit's Harvester. Sorry about that, but this is not a Bone Harvest build. This is a Halidor's Tempest. I think this is the best approach, my opinion of course, to the Mr. Wit's Harvester. This build ended up very solid. I managed to farm Boundless 12 without any corruptions and stuff. There is a link at my hardcore ladder. I didn't make a video because I have to strip the items from this build to another build, and the other build is dead, so I can't make footage anymore. But it's very solid. A little bit stressful to play because not very tanky. In terms of hard content, I mean Boundless 12 with double Nemesis on, sometimes some combinations pretty rippy. For example, Disenjoyer plus Dervish. It's absolutely nightmare for this build, and that rolls pretty often. But the build is still alive, so it's a very nice starter. All of the gear is very easy acquirable, nothing crazy here. It's another option if you want to start some spamming build or something like this. Definitely recommend it as a starter. As an endgame character is okay, not something amazing, but still not the worst either. What we do after that, I think this is my last build actually. No, after that we decide to go. I almost forgot one of my... Basically I use rank 2 again, Trickster. Special thanks to Oleg22 for posting that. I abuse spamming bleed spirits. Blade Spirits, sorry. And before they nerf that in the last patch, actually we can ramp up the dot up to million and something, 1,200,000, which is insane. And of course was nerfed on a reason. Still I managed to do some super bosses and stuff. Build is absolutely godlike. Even after the nerf I optimized it a little bit according to the changes, and I managed to farm Boundless 12 without any problems. Build is very tanky, very mobile, and damage is very good. Of course, after the nerfs you can't put very good times on bosses, but still can't participate in the tiebreakers, just your time is gonna be more or less than usual. Highly recommend this build. Probably some of the gear is gonna be nerfed next patch, but still is gonna be amazing build, I believe. This is my Paladin. This is my low level challenge build, nothing special. I messed it up a little bit, but I managed to do all the stuff. I messed it up basically my devotion path. And final, this is absolutely copy paste. Of course I didn't manage to acquire all the suffixes. Again I copy Oleg22, rank 2 hardcore player, elementalist. I managed to reach Moira 6 and I died. Unfortunately I have 3 or 4 days to prepare this build, like 10 hours playtime, because my time at the computer is pretty limited. I have family and stuff, real life, so I can't play that much. And how I died, I managed to clean the fight very well. At the 5th phase I was with 0 debuffs, but I did 2 position mistakes. I got arcaned, I got 1 extra debuff on top, and I didn't manage to escape in time, so she burst me down. Another amazing build by this player, honestly, hands down. The idea is very good, very expensive. Some of the gear is very crazy, but if you manage to build this, it's naturally a bosser. I'm not sure about general farming. I try a little bit of SR, but it's kinda slow because it's basically savagery build. But in terms of bossing is absolutely amazing. Ramp up the ridiculous amount of 6,000 offensive ability. You're gonna see all the orange numbers that you can see. Absolutely crazy build. Again, thanks to Oleg22 for sharing his best builds. This is very helpful to the community. As you know, a lot of players from the top 5, they keep their secrets, which is understandable. Nothing to complain, because after all is a competition. It all depends how competitive you are. Some people are more competitive than the others and they prefer to keep their crazy builds for the very end, which is again very understandable. But this was my journey in terms of characters. Let's take a look at my inventory really quick. Just I have to find some alive guy. Of course, my cloud stash, I have like 3000 items. I keep a lot of stuff. Highly recommend infinite stash. It's just $5, but can save you a lot of farming, because I pick, thanks to my perception and picking rare suffixes, prefixes, I managed to build much faster instead of hunting for this. So tons of components. We have 400 seals. We have 200 blood of catons. This is plenty. We have a lot of unused corruptions. Oh, of course, I don't use very much Ralliot. I use mostly Ultus, so I don't have time. I have plenty of the new waystones. I didn't farm much, but I use a lot of them actually. Especially the most used ones are the green one and the purple one. We have a lot of celestial lotuses. We have a lot of alteration orbs. Actually, I use them a lot to reroll relics. This is my speedrunning tab. I'm not the best speedrunner in the game, but I managed to put some good times, like 6-7 hours, depends. Sometimes I play pretty chill. So 6-7 hours from 1 to 94. I use, because my build's dead, usually I use 2 different sets of locker set. I use one for the start, and after I got to, basically I use the very common strategy to hit level 33 in 10 minutes. And I re-equip with the second locker set, which is fully corrupt, with tier 2 components as well. I use a lot of rings for different stages. I use a lot of relics as well. And basically a lot of stuff missing here because I died twice on my speedruns. But usually this tab is full with useful items. I plan to make a guide how to speedrun in the future. My next tab is usually in the third tab I keep mostly rings, amulets, medals and stuff. This is some random items that I pick along the way. My fourth tab, usually here I use transfer some items. When I plan a new build, I put everything that I need here at the fourth tab. I keep it clear so it's easier for me to transfer items. 5th tab is basically items that I transfer. And this is cloud stash tab, so everything disappears. And this is how we end up the season. Again, thanks to everyone that participate alongside with me. I want to say thank you to the community as well. It's a great community. Everybody is helpful. There is no toxic people. Glad to be part of such a community. Again, thanks to all the players that share their builds, that help at Discord, new players. This is how basically community is built and we bring more players, because after all, it's a game, it's supposed to be fun, and it costs nothing to be nice. Thanks again to the developers and for their hard work, even in a hard times that they can't reach their goals in terms of money. They still put an effort and don't give up on the league, so we can enjoy it. Huge thanks to them. They did a really good job with this mode, and I'm glad they still improve and they still listen to the community. They don't go selfish or something. They actually work together with us to make the mode and the community in general better. And this is for me for season 7. In terms of content, probably I'm gonna continue with my solo self-found hardcore runs from a scratch. This is something fun that I record basically for me. I do it for fun. Thank you everyone again. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.